Okay, just last little bit about the camera and getting the camera like set up to shoot for assignment one. And there'll be another video to talk about shooting for assignment one and like what to do. Um, but you're gonna get your new camera and maybe you've never used it before, maybe you have, it's all kind of, you guys are all coming at this from different places. But my basic assumption is that no one has used a camera before. Okay, so I like to start slow and then we just build on those skills. Okay, so week one is really just about composition. I don't want you to really think about the technical stuff, meaning like, what is this like little device in my hands doing? Okay, it's collecting light, you know, and it's making that light collection into like this picture. So how does that happen? We'll talk about that, but I don't want you to really think about that. I just want you to have fun and try some stuff out this week. Okay? But again, my assumption is like you've never used a camera before. Okay? So project one is the camera setup is really simple. Okay? Charge the battery, put the memory card in it, okay? And those things you should read the manual about, but um, let's look at just a couple easy things. All right, so, ah, this is kind of what I was just talking about. Disclaimer about these instructions, okay? So I'm going to show like just like two brands, like the Nikon and the Canon, like how to do it. I can't have a PowerPoint for every camera that's manufactured um, because that's not fair. Okay, so if you have some other brand, like I was like in the video, I was like, oh, don't buy a Pentax or don't buy a Sony. Those are great cameras. Okay, I just don't know them. Okay, and that's nothing to, like, yeah, go for it. Get a nice like little Sony camera. But these are like the most common cameras I see in the class, a Nikon and a Canon. So if you have a different brand than I'm showing, like please consult the manual that came with the camera or go online and like do a little looking. It shouldn't be that bad. But in general, like the things I'm going to show here, even if you have a brand I'm not showing, should kind of match up, okay? But additionally, the model of camera you have might not be the Nikon or the Canon that I show in this PowerPoint, okay? So all things change. Like even within Nikon, like the higher brand professional Nikons, their settings are a little different, okay? The same with Canon. The Canon I show in this PowerPoint is a Rebel. I think it's a couple years old. The Nikon I show in this PowerPoint is like a mid-level, semi-professional camera, okay? It'd be like a backup to a pro camera, all right? Um, so they might be in different places. It might be worded a little different. But I fully encourage you to read the manual that came with your camera regardless, okay? And become familiar with how it works and what it can do. All right? So I might say that a little bit the first couple weeks, like, do you have the manual? Have you looked at it? Okay? You got to be a little proactive with that tool in your hands. Okay. Setting the Nikon to auto mode. All right, so from the top dial on the left switch, from the top dial on the left, switch the dial to the green word auto so it lines up with the white dash. And I like so perfectly covered the white dash with this arrow to make this harder for you to do. All right, my mistake. But it's going to have a little bit of lingo on here. Okay, like oh, what do these things do? Okay, and yours might have different things. Okay, but it should have something that's like green and says auto. Okay, it might have like two rings. See how this here? There's a ring down here with a white dash, and then there's a ring up here, and then again that white dash is right under here, this arrow that I perfectly covered. All right. So for project one, I want you guys to work in auto, okay? Which will be great. You don't have to worry about anything. So auto mode is where the camera does everything except point itself, okay? The second thing I want you to do is set the file size to small, to not only small, but JPEG, okay? So you're going to set it to JPEG, and then make sure that JPEG is a small file size, okay? And that's just to make it easier for you, okay? So I have like 2 rows of instructions here. So I say click on the menu button, all right, which is right there, and then make sure, slight typo, Jesus Christ. Make sure the camera icon is selected. See the little camera icon? Click down to image quality right here. And from there, select JPEG Basic. So I kind of do that in 3 steps. Click here, scroll down, and then scroll down all the way to JPEG Basic. It's going to be this big list of types of files that you can shoot. All right. So now the Nikon has like an extra step. So you got to make that JPEG a small. Okay. So you could shoot like in a high-res JPEG or large file size. So to set the file size to small, click down farther. So we're still in the little camera area. We're going to click down just one more to image size, and then from there select small. So it's large, medium, or small. Okay, so make it small, 3 megs. That's good. All right. Now for setting the Canon to auto mode. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, it's like a tiny bit different. All right, that's what's so annoying. And any any photo teacher in the world says that. Like, why can't Canon and Nikon like make their stuff similar? Okay, so it's all just like a little bit different. Okay, so setting the Canon to auto mode. How do you do that? So from the top dial on the right, okay, so that's weird. So the Nikon was on the left, all right, but Canon's on the right. On there, switch the right dial to the green letter A so that it lines up with the white dash. Okay, see there's the white dash, and I've set it to A+. Okay, so that's Canon's like lingo for auto mode. Now, this is where the Canon's like a little bit nicer than the Nikon. Maybe, I guess, I don't know. So setting the Canon to JPEG and small file size. It's like 1 step. Yeah, it's 1 step. So set the Canon to JPEG in small file size is a bit easier than the Nikon because it's just 1 stop on the menu. Okay? So again, first thing you do is you got to find that menu button. Where is that? Okay, so on the Canon, it's here. And I think we saw on the Nikon, it's like over here. Okay? They both have their like little weird things that, and that's just the beginning of the weird camera world. Okay, so go to image quality and simply click up till you are on S1 with the smooth curve. Okay, so I hit menu, I go to image quality, and when I got there first, it was set to raw plus large JPEG. So you can actually shoot, so you get the raw file, all right? So a raw file is like unprocessed, it's uncompressed, it's just pure information from the sensor, okay? We don't want to deal with that this week. Next week we can, okay? But not this week. And the same for Nikon, okay? So they have raw, and then so when you shoot, it makes a raw file and it makes a JPEG of that same picture, okay? So that's gonna, if you think about it, that's gonna take up a lot of room on your memory card, okay? So you got to think about why you'd want to do that, okay? So here you can actually just set it to raw. There's all these like things you can do, All right, so let's go back. We didn't finish with Canon. All right, so when I got here, hey, it was set to RAW plus a large JPEG. Why did I do that? All right, so we get to this page here, image quality, and it's much simpler. Okay, it's like you kind of pick everything right here. So simply click up till you're on S1 with the smooth curve. That should be a 4.5 megapixel file, which will be small enough and easy to work with. Okay, so just click up. All right, so here are our options for like the Canon. RAW. There's like S3, S1, S2, sorry. All right, so those are like I'm not sure I don't remember what those are. But I do know like S1 with the smooth curve is like a nice small file JPEG. This is a medium JPEG, and this is a large JPEG, and I forget what these two are. All right, I don't use Canon that much. I'm more of a Nikon person, but my daughter has a Canon, so I borrowed it. All right, so the S1, all right, and what does the jagged mean? That just means it's like a slightly less quality JPEG. All right, so that should be it really. Okay, so we're going to get into a little bit like moving the dial around and then just kind of going in our back menu. Okay, that's the big hurdle with the camera. Okay, that's it.